Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello friends, this is Vijay. Welcome to ForumIAS. In our today's news analysis, we will be discussing the topics in the slide. The first one, it is related to the IFA agreement, investment facilitation agreement. Then the second one is about the science for all. It is all about the LEGO detector. And the third one, it is about the legalizing of the cannabis plant in the state of Himachal. Before Himachal, Uttarakhand, they legalized the cultivation of cannabis. So we will be discussing it in detail. And the next one, Saudi Omani team to talk to Houthis to end the Yemen war. In the last week, we discussed about the Saudi-Iran peace deal, which was brokered by China. So the consequence of this deal, it have been leading to these peace delegations. So we will be discussing it in much brief in our today's news discussion. Then the last one is about the Human Genome Project. So it is the Indian variant of Human Genome Project. So we will be discussing each and every article, and these are the articles what we are going to discuss today. The first one is related to the investment facilitation agreement. Then the second one, it is about the LEGO. Then the third one is about the cannabis. Then the fourth one about the Yemen Houthis war. Then the last one, human genome. So kindly go through the article, and here is the first article. With respect to investment facilitation agreement, guys, this topic is related to the WTO. Okay, so wait, let me change the ink. The article is all about the WTO. Right now, WTO, they have been discussing the investment facilitation agreement, which means actually they will be making certain principles and protocols to facilitate the investment between the nations. And it is very important for India because these days we are targeting for a $5 trillion economy, and for investment also we launched for boosting the domestic investment and all, the government launched PM Gati Shakti scheme also. So let us discuss about it in the end of the article. And this investment facilitation agreement is having certain novel objectives. This objective is trying to make a hassle-free investment procedures. This procedure is going to get adopted by certain members of WTO, but India is not in favor of it. And each country, they need to take several measures to favor the incoming investment. They will be according the most favored nation status to each and every partners who are going to accede to the investment facilitation agreement. After the investment and operations also, if there is any dispute arising out of the investment means, there should be a dispute redressal mechanism for solving the disputes between the recipient state and the corporations, right? So to resolve the disputes in an amicable manner, WTO, they came up with ISDS. Okay, this is a dispute settlement body. So investment state dispute settlement body, that's the name. So here you can see there are three terms are there. The first one is investment facilitation agreement. Then the second one, investor state dispute settlement body. Then the BIT is a bilateral investment treaties. So these are the three terms which have been repeating multiple times in this article. And guys, India stated that it is having certain concerns with respect to the agreement. Here, with respect to the agreement, we will be seeing some economic related terms, right? So don't get panic. This is a very simple term. Bilateral investment treaty means some countries, actually, they will be entering into the protocols or treaties to facilitate the investment between their partners and with themselves. Okay. So ISDS, I already told about you. So these are the three basic terms which have been repeating in this article. And now guys, actually WTO, they have been stating that each country, they should adopt investment facilitation agreement, because what they are stating is it will facilitate and it will create the demand for the investment among the partners. And it will also bring some trust among the partners with the tailored protocols of WTO. This is what they have been stating. And this trust will bring lot of investments to the respective country. Okay. So first case, it will generate the trust among the partners. And the second case, this trust, it will lead to a lot of investments between the partners. So this is how WTO have been stating. But why India is against this agreement? That we should know, right? So India states that we are having lot of bilateral investment treaties with numerous countries. Like we are having bilateral investment treaty with Japan, and with certain Asian countries also we are having, apart from Japan. And with the ASEAN, we are having some bilateral treaties, some ASEAN nations. So like that, we are having numerous treaties with each and every country. So that's what India have been stating is, if we are acceding to WTO investment facilitation agreement, means it will create numerous confusions and it will lead to numerous conflicts with their partner countries. So this is the statement made by India. Like if India is becoming a partner under this agreement, means individual bilateral partner countries, they will ask to follow the principles in investment facilitation agreement to their treaties. Okay, already we are having some mechanisms with each and every state. So if we are acceding to IFA, means each country will be asking us to adopt the protocols what they had envisioned under the IFA. So this is the concern of India. Since 1960s, India is very clear about the investment related disputes, guys. It doesn't want any third party international organizations to dictate their terms to India. If there is a dispute, means only Indian agencies and the respective private entity alone will resolve it according to the rules and provisions of the treaties which was signed between the investment host country and the recipient Indian. Okay. So, and guys, with respect to IFA, throughout the world, some 100 plus countries are in favor to this agreement. So major chunk of these countries are developed nations. And you know, guys, these countries are having enormous capital. We all well know the developed countries, in the name itself it is there. So they will be having enormous capital and they are looking for better returns for their capital. But developing countries like India, China, even today China, they are having enormous capital. Almost 1,600 billion they are having in their coffers, US dollars. So India, then South Korea, these developing countries, they are having huge resource crunch. And they are facing a lot of headache through this kind of dispute redressal mechanisms, especially of third-party grievance redressal mechanisms. And they want it for to protect their capital and better returns, right? But for countries like India, it is becoming a big headache. And in the fear of ISDS, the article have been stating that, firstly, as I told to you, we are having our own individual principles and treaties, right? So we don't want any tailored mechanisms as like ISDS. So this is the first fear of India. Secondly, India states that WTO is having mandate only to trade. Its name itself is referring that WTO, right? World Trade Organization. Then why it is making principles and treaties for investment, like India is asking them? India says that WTO, it should mediate only trade of the global nations and not the investments domain. So this is what India have been stating. So these are the two most important points put forward by India. I once again repeat this, guys. Firstly, India is against the third party dispute redressal mechanisms because it will create lot of confusions with the India's investment partners. Secondly, WTO is bound to make principles only to trade and not related to investment. So these are the 2 points put forward by India. And in the reforming bids, they have been discussing several things. Rather than going through the ISDS, we are having bilateral investment treaties, right? So countries are getting redressal of their grievances under the bilateral investment treaty mechanism, like India is arguing. And India, it doesn't want any bilateral investment treaty countries to get into ISDS mechanisms for grievance redressal. Guys, keep in mind, all the points putting forward by India's expectations are fear alone, okay? But WTO saying that nothing will happen like what and how you are fearing. They also says that international tribunals won't interfere with the affairs of India, and these tribunals, they won't take any toll on India's interest with respect to the investment. And here in the conclusion part, they have been stating that India should not be opposed to joining the IFA negotiations at WTO due to the fear of ISDS claims. Okay, so this is how they have been concluding the article. And guys, let us discuss about the trade facilitation agreement also, because it is also one of the important agreement actually which enacted by WTO. It is very significant for UPSC Prelims also. So now let us discuss about it. Here I had given some basic points alone. Okay, so let me discuss everything in very brief. I think in the year of 2013 December, WTO members, they concluded a negotiations on trade facilitation agreement. Actually, it was happened in the Bali Ministerial Conference. Okay. It was happened in the Bali Ministerial Conference as a part of wider Bali package. The purpose of the WTO trade facilitation agreement is to expedite the movement, the release, the clearance of goods, okay, including the goods in transit. So this is what it had been given here. So here, through this agreement, they are going to enhance the global demand and they will boost the global growth by reducing the cost of transactions in terms of export and import. So the trade facilitation agreement, it aims to harmonize non-tariff barriers like custom procedures or administrative hurdles in the developing and LDC countries, which means least developed countries, with the current practice in developed countries. Okay, so this is what it had been discussed there. What are the benefits to India out of the trade facilitation agreement means? The first one, we are focusing on Make in India initiative and the Atmanirbhar. So simplified custom and administrative procedures, it would attract much needed foreign investment for the success of Make in India initiative. And Indo-EU FTA, we already had discussed about Indo-EU FTA in our discussion. So TFA, it is going to help India in harmonizing the non-tariff barriers between India and the EU, thereby giving impetus to long-standing Indo-EU FTA. Okay. Then with respect to the APEC membership, simplified procedures would soften India's image as a hard bargainer, which currently hindered our APEC membership. So with respect to the simplification, in future, we will be getting an APEC membership. And with respect to the trade, TFA would facilitate trade with developed countries, thereby help Indian economy to grow further because a lot of exports will be boosted and more forex we will be getting in the future. So that's how the trade will be grown and the trade deficit will be narrowed. Okay, so these are the few benefits we are going to get out of this trade facilitation agreement. And what are the challenges are there in the trade facilitation agreement, that also we should know. Here, the implementation is still possessing a huge challenge to the resource-strapped developing countries like India and South Korea, etc. So that is one of the foremost challenge what we are facing from the trade facilitation agreement. And the second thing, India could lose a bargaining chip to secure its interest, like finding a permanent solution to the issue of public stocking for food security purposes and a mechanism to safeguard poor farmers from sudden import surge of farm products. So these are the few things which are acting as a barrier for India with respect to the trade facilitation. And the third one, Startup India Mission. Actually, the scheme, it is still in the nascent stage, you might have known. It needs government protection in the form of some trade barriers before opening to open competition, right? Because a lot of startups we are having, so they might be needing the government protection. Else, they will face the challenges from the international competitions. So these are the few challenges are there. So with this note, let us move on to the next article, guys. Here is the next one for you, Science for All. Guys, this topic is very important for both stages of the exam, pre and main. Here the Union Cabinet, they had approved to set up a gravitational wave detection facility in Maharashtra. So it had been costing around 2,600 crore. So the Union Cabinet, they had approved for the amount of 2,600 crore for this project. So in this mechanism, guys, scientists will be using LIGO laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory. So they will be using this model of twin LIGO instruments already operational in United States. So I think one is in Louisiana and another one is in Washington, and here in India we are going to erect the third one. So with respect to the Louisiana, guys, actually Louisiana is a huge territory which have been connecting the US from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so before the purchase of Louisiana, actually Louisiana was purchased from France. So you know, guys, actually I think after acquiring the independence, actually they made a purchase. This is general information. Okay, so at that time actually US purchased every acre of Louisiana from France for very small amount, which is around some 4 cents. Okay, so every acre actually they purchased, and today this Louisiana, it acquires huge significance Okay, actually, it have been bolstering the US in both the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so now let us come to the topic. In this mechanism, guys, scientists will be using the LIGO laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory. Okay, so guys, with respect to the gravitational wave, it was first detected in the year of 2016, and even Einstein, he made a note about it, but he couldn't able to prove the theory. Okay, here guys, let us discuss briefly about the LIGO and LIGO scientific collaboration and gravitational waves. With respect to the LIGO, what is meant by LIGO? So LIGO, it is a L-shaped detector. Here in the image you can see it is a L-shaped detector. So here actually there are two amps are there, right? These two amps, each amps will be having a distance of 4 kilometer. So right now two detectors are there in US, as I already told you, one in Louisiana and one in Washington. Here in the image they had given that the twin LIGO installations, one in Livingston, Louisiana and another one in Washington. They are located 300 km apart. The two blind L-shaped detectors with the 4 km long vacuum chambers that can accommodate 11 Boeing 747 commercial airliners. So that much length it will be having. So when a gravitational waves come through, it stretches space in one direction and squeezes space in another direction. So here actually the gravitational wave will be entering, and with the principles of laser, we will be analyzing the informations and we will decode the informations what it have been presenting in the gravitational waves. So this is the basic principle behind the LIGO. Don't dig deeper into the topic if you are not from science background. And also with respect to the prelims aspect, it is not needed to go deeper into the topic. Now let us discuss about the LSC. Okay, guys, LSC, it was founded in the year of 1997 and currently made up of more than 1,000 scientists from over 100 institutions and 18 countries worldwide. So it is a group of scientists. They focused on the direct detection of the gravitational waves, using them to explore the fundamental physics of gravity and developing the emerging field of gravitational wave science as a tool of astronomical discovery. So this is a brief about the LSC. Let me explain once again. Actually, LSC, it was founded in the year of 1997. Okay, so they are having almost some 1,000 scientists from 18 countries, and they are a group of scientists. Okay, so they are a group of scientists. They focused on the direct detection of the gravitational waves. Now let us discuss about the significance of the LIGO project. With respect to the LIGO India project, the information extracted by these transmitted waves, it will help to address unsolved questions and the mystery of the physics and astronomy, like how the earth was formed and when the solar system was formed and how much heavy bodies we are having in our galaxy. Like that we can decode. It will also help Indian scientific community to be a major player in the emerging research frontier of the astronomy. Okay, so these are the few significance we are having. Then the third one is about the spillover effects. Okay, actually here in this LIGO project, we will be using the high-end engineering requirements. So these high-end engineering requirements, so they will be having some special applications in other related fields and institutions. So LIGO project, it is a multidisciplinary in nature. So it will bring together scientists and engineers from several domains like gravitational physics, astronomy, then astrophysics, cosmology. Okay, like that various scientists, they will come together and they will work in this LIGO India project, and there they can share their knowledge. So LIGO India project, it is a cutting edge project in India. So it can serve as a local focus to interest and inspire students and young scientists. So in today India, we are having enormous engineers, but they are unskilled. With this high-end scientific projects, we can instill some confidence and we can make them more passionate towards the science and related domains. And here we should know what is meant by the gravitational wave, right? So the gravitational wave, it is invisible and they are ripple like formations in space, and they can travel in the speed of light, almost 186,000 miles per second. These waves, they can squeeze and stretch anything in their path as they pass by. So in the image you can see two black holes are merging and it have been creating a ripple in the space. So a gravitational wave, it is an invisible wave. Okay, and Einstein, as I already told you, he predicted that something special happens when two bodies such as planets or stars orbit each other. Like that he was believed. He also believed that this kind of movement it could cause ripples in space. But he didn't prove it. But only in the year of 2016, we detected the gravitational waves. So from then onwards, actually the research for further things and all have been kickstarted. So what causes these gravitational waves? The most powerful gravitational waves are created when objects move at a very high speeds. So some examples of events that could cause a gravitational wave are given here, like when a star explodes asymmetrically. Okay, so it will result in a supernova. So then when two big stars orbit each other, it will create a gravitational wave, as Einstein had predicted. Then when two black holes, they orbit each other and merge, this will also create a gravitational waves. In the image you can see. Okay, so these L-shaped detector, they will be detecting this gravitational wave. Okay, so there are a lot of principles are there. You no need to go dive deeper into this topic. So let us wind up here. Now guys, let us come to the topic. What is the importance of this initiative? Firstly, India could become a global site of gravitational research, but here a lot of people will be asking questions like why government is spending in this, and we are having numerous people under poverty, we want money for infra development, kind of, right? So, but guys, to show the demonstration of power, we should develop in science and technology, therefore it has huge importance. As I already told you, in the significance also we have seen, it will propel Indian minds and it will provide better opportunities to the population to strive excellence in the astronomy. Guys, these kind of opportunities, surely it will nurture the young minds and India can reap benefits out of it. Here they had given about the INO observatory also, okay, in the article. So INO, Indian Neutrino Observatory, it is located in the Tamil Nadu. It is a stalled project. So in the past year also, UPSC had question. They actually had asked a question about it. So with this note, let us dive into the next article. Himachal considering legalizing the cultivation of cannabis, says CM. So guys, according to the WHO, cannabis is a generic term used to denote the several psychoactive preparations of the plant, cannabis sativa. So it is the cannabis sativa is the botanical name. Guys, according to WHO, cannabis is by far the most widely cultivated, trafficked and abused illicit drug in the world. A major psychoactive substance in the cannabis is delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, this is what it has been given here. So delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, this is the psychoactive constituent which have been in the cannabis plant. The unpollinated female plants are called hashish. So cannabis oil, okay, it is a concentrate of cannabinoids. So they are obtained by solvent extraction of the crude plant material or of the resin. Okay, so this is how hashish will be made, and it is a banned substance. According to the NDPS Act, cannabis plant means any plant of the genus cannabis. So almost all the genus cannabis plants will be clubbed as a cannabis plant in the NDPS Act. And charas are there. Okay, so there are several variants are there. One is a charas. It is a resin extracted from the cannabis plant. So NDPS Act, it covers separated resin in whatever form, whether purified or crude, obtained from the cannabis plant, also indicates a concentrated preparation, and the resin known as a hashish oil. Okay, it is also called as a liquid hashish. So just know about it. Okay, you won't get any questions, but just know about the variants of cannabis. Ganja, you might have known about it. It is a flowering part of the plant. And bhang, during the holy time, we will be having a bhang. The leaves and all will be crushed. Okay, so that's how the bhang will be made. Bhang is legal, okay, because it is having some cultural intricate relationship with the culture. So that's how the act didn't ban the bhang. And NDPS Act, it doesn't permit the recreational use of cannabis in India. Okay, so in certain countries, their legislations and their rules and all have been allowing the citizens to use the cannabis plant for their recreational use. But in India, it is completely banned. So that's it, friends. And another one thing, the cannabinoid oil, actually, it is manufactured with a license under the Drug and Cosmetics Act 1940. So it can be legally used. It is not very common. Okay. So these are the few things about the cannabis. In this context, guys, the CM of Himachal, he made a statement that there are certain medicinal benefits are there from cannabis. So we can repeat using the novel procedures under the state government guideline like that he stated. And guys, as I already told you, Uttarakhand is the first country in the India to legalize it, and they are harvesting in a controlled manner. Guys, under NDPS Act, Union government didn't impose a blanket ban, okay, as I already told you. Rather, it allowed certain parts and it banned certain parts of the plant. Bang is a classic example for it, which means the usage of leaves of the plant is allowed, but using the flower or resin is banned, okay. So this is what you should know. In the image they had given about the description about the ganja, hashish and all. So when you find time, you can go through it. And there is a 6-month prison for the possessing the ganjas and all, okay. So that's it, friends, with respect to this article. Saudi Omani team to talk to Houthis to end the Yemen war. And here, guys, actually, the Saudi Omani delegation is planning to travel to Yemen's capital Sana'a next week to hash out a permanent ceasefire deal with the Houthis officials. So in the last week, actually, we discussed about the deal between the Saudi and Iran. So it was a peace deal, and it was brokered by the China, right? So these days, China have been replacing the role what US had played so far. So they are brokering the international deals and all. And here, with respect to this issue, you should know some basic issues, okay? So here, two groups are involved in conflict. One is Yemen government. They are supported by Saudi Arabia, okay? So Yemen government is supported by Saudi Arabia, and Houthis, they are having their position here. They are receiving the support from the Iranian government. So in the last week, the Iran-Saudi peace deal was attained. So the consequence of it, the Saudi Omani delegation is planning to travel to Yemen's capital. So you should know very well that the deal was brokered by China. We had discussed it multiple times. Therefore, to give the effect to that deal, they started negotiating the settlements through the peace delegations. And guys, with respect to this issue, you should know about the map with respect to the West Asia, especially of the Yemen. Here in the south of Sana'a, you can visibly see the Gulf of Aden and the Arabian Sea, right? So here is the Socotra Island. So this is also huge. This is also having huge significance because it is locating in the Gulf of Aden region. And here it is a Bab el-Mandab, and here it is a Red Sea. Okay. So Yemen, it have been surrounding by only two countries, Saudi Arabia and the Oman. So these are the two countries which have been bordering the Yemen. And here in the image, you can visibly see the regions in the Arabian Peninsula. An-Nafod and Rub al-Khali, these are the two most important desert which have been locating in the Saudi Arabia. And Kuwait is here in the Persian Gulf. Okay, so it have been bordering the Persian Gulf. And Iran is here, and Bandar Abbas port is here. Chabahar will be here. Okay, Chabahar will be here. And Oman is here. UAE is locating here. So Abu Dhabi is the capital. And for Qatar, Doha is the capital. And for Bahrain, Manama is the capital. So these are the few things you should know in this region. And Hijaz Mountains, this is one of the longest mountain region in the Saudi Arabia. Then the secondary important mountain region is Azir Mountains. So this is locating here. So these are the few things with respect to the Saudi Arabia. And Mecca and Medina, they are historically significant places. And for the Islam people, it is having high significance. So with this note, let us move on to the next slide. As I already told you, this is the region which have been controlled by Houthis, and the remaining regions and all have been shared by both the Al-Qaeda and the Yemen governments. And from Sana'a, actually, they used to launch the capital, the rocket attack on the Saudi Arabia's capital, and they used to target Jeddah, Mecca and Medina also. Okay, so almost 1,500 kilometers they are having range, and they are using the UAVs which have been donated by the Iran. So they are using the Iranian UAVs, and in these days in the Russian-Ukraine war also, you might have known the Iranian UAV have been playing a decisive role against the Ukraine government, and it have been taking big toll on the army personnel from the Ukraine side. So these are the few things you should know. Now with this note, let us move on to the next article. The article is all about the Human Genome Project. Guys, before getting into the topic, we should know what is meant by genome, right? Genome, it actually refers to all the genetic material in an organism, and the human genome is mostly the same in almost all people. Okay, very, very minor difference will be there between you and your distant relative. Okay, so every organism genetic code is contained in the DNA. So deoxyribose nucleic acid. They are the building blocks of life, and it will be consisting of all the facts about your life. And the discovery that a DNA is structured as a double helix. This is a double helix structure. Okay. So this is a double helix structure. It was found by the James Watson and Francis Crick in the year of 1953. So actually it has been opening some important idea into our human life. And each genome they contains of almost all the needed information to build and maintain the organisms. Here in the cell, you might have known this is a genetic material, chromosomes, and if we are decoding the chromosomes means we will be getting the gene and the DNA. So in this DNA, there will be these color codings are there. So they are termed as a V and T are variable number tandem repeats. So for each and every individual, these variable number tandem repeats will be changing, but it will be very similar if you are checking with your parents means. So for the blood relations, there will be a similarity of the variable number tandem repeats. Now let us come to the topic. What is the Genome India project? The Genome project, it was a collaboration of almost 20 institutions, including the Indian Institute of Science and some IITs. And it will enable some new efficiencies in medicine, agriculture, and the life science. So here yesterday, with respect to the Genome India project, actually we are having a plan to sequence some 10,000 Indian human genomes and to create a database. So the Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, he stated that almost 7,000 Indian human genomes have been sequenced and almost 3,000 have been available for the public access, especially for the research purpose. So its aim is to ultimately build a grid of Indian reference genome to fully understand the type and the nature of the disease and the traits that comprise the diverse Indian population. So this is the ultimate aim of the Human Genome Project. This mega project, it have been forming a collection of some 10,000 samples. Okay, so in the first phase from across India to arrive at a representative Indian genome. So in the first phase, we are collecting a 10,000 Indian human genomes. So far, we had collected some 7,000 genomes, remaining 3,000 is pending. And the government, they are ready to provide access for the 3,000 genomes which have been sequenced for research purposes alone. So there are several benefits are there. So the first one is related to the precision healthcare. So the the Genome India project, it will help in the development of the personalized medicine. Okay, so each and every human, they will be having there is a possibility of having certain genetic disorders, right? So we can find those genetic disorders and we can provide some curative medical protocol for the patients by using this Human Genome Project. For example, some persons, they will be having cardiovascular disease, right? So it will generally lead to heart attacks in South Asians especially, but with respect to Africa, it will lead to strokes. So if we are having some basic layout of genome means, we can provide the suitable treatment to the concerned patients. So this is the major benefit out of the Human Genome Project. Then the next one is related to the agriculture. The same similar benefits, it would come to the agriculture if there is a better understanding of the genetic basis of the susceptibility of the plants to pest, insects, and other issues hampering the productivity. So if we are having some basic layout means, it will help us to cultivate the suitable crop and in a much efficient way. Okay. Then the next one is about the international cooperation. Global Science would also provide a benefit from a mapping project in one of the world's most diverse gene pools. Okay, what India is having is a very diverse gene pool. So it will provide some insights to the global community. The project is said to be among the most significant of its kind in the world because of its scale and the diversity it would bring to the genetic studies. So these are the few benefits out of the Human Genome Project, and we are also having a lot of challenges with respect to the Human Genome Project. The first one is related to the scientific racism. Like with the help of the modern techniques and tools, there will be a perpetration of racism on the minorities. Okay, so this is one of the cause of concern, and there are certain ethical dilemma are also involving in this project. Actually, it aims to create a database of genetic information. It have been possessing a risk of doctors privately performing gene modification. Okay, so there are certain concerns are also there. So this is one among them. And with respect to the data and storage, after the collection of the sample, the anonymity of the data and the questions of its possible use and misuse would need to be addressed. So it actually acting as a criticality in the Human Genome Project. India, it is yet to pass a data privacy bill with adequate safeguards, and launching the Human Genome Project in India before the privacy is settled could give rise to the another set of problems. Okay, so first we need to ensure the concrete data privacy bill, then we need to open the access to the public for the research purposes and all. So then only we can protect the data of what we collected so far, else it will put the individual data to danger zone. So with this note, let us dive into the prelims question part, guys. Here is the first question with reference to the Indian economy. Consider the following statement. This is a previous year question. So if the inflation is too high, means RBI is likely to buy government securities. RBI will buy government securities only to pump in the fund, not to pump out the fund. Okay. So if the inflation is very high, means there will be the liquidity level will be very high in the market. Therefore, they will be selling the government securities and they will be sucking the liquidity from the economy. So the first statement is wrong. Then the second statement, if the rupee is rapidly depreciating, means RBI is likely to sell dollars in the market. So this is true. Okay. So the second one is true. Then the third one, if the interest rates in the USA or European Union were to fall, that is likely to induce RBI to buy dollars. This is also a true statement. So 2 and 3 are right. Answer option B is the right one for the question number 1. Then this is a factual question. In which of the following regions of India are shale gas resources found? So there is one map is there with respect to the shale gas resource in India. Kindly go through it. Almost all the regions are having the enormous shale gas resources. So in the future, we can use the resource what we are having in the Cambay Basin, Kaveri Basin and the KG Basin. So all the statements are right, and option D is the right one for the question number 2. This is also a previous year question. And this is the third one. This is with respect to the West Asia. I already told you West Asia is a very favorable area for the UPSC to asking the map based questions. So be prepared for it. Which one of the following countries of Southwest Asia doesn't open to the Mediterranean Sea? So here Jordan is the right answer. Syria and Lebanon, Israel, they are all bordering the Mediterranean Sea. So Jordan is the right one. So answer option B is the right one for the question number 3. So with this note, let us wind up our discussion, guys, and kindly revise the topics what we are seeing every day. Okay, it will improve your accuracy for the upcoming prelims. So that's it, friends. Thank you for your patience. Let me catch you in another news discussion tomorrow. Bye.